Hey, well, it's the next morning, and I got here a little bit late, but I'm ready to sand this wall. Now, before I sand this wall, I'm telling them we've got to turn the ceiling fan off. They've got some jalousie windows here. We've got to close those. They're closing the doors to the bedrooms. Oh, that's kind of cool. Like that. Here's the bedroom door right here. I kind of like that. That's slick. Okay, and we're closing the bathroom door and the other guest door. We may even cover the couch. We're gonna shut these windows here too. These are called jalousie windows. And you just go like that and close them. Okay, because I don't want any air moving around in here. The idea is when I sand this, I'm gonna try to sand it not really super hard or anything, but then the weight of the dust, I want it to fall down. But if it gets up in the air, if the air is moving around, it's gonna fly around and everywhere in here is gonna get dusty. Just from doing this, you wouldn't believe it until you saw it on your own. That's why I'm trying to give you these tips, okay? So I'm gonna start getting ready to sand this wall. And incidentally, when I'm talking about sanding walls, this is a smooth wall finish on the wall. If this was a light spray texture or something, you could take a sponge and actually wipe it down without sanding it. Did you know that? You could do that and then you wouldn't have to do any sanding at all. But because it's a smooth wall and I'm going to put 2 coats of paint over it, actually they're going to put 1 coat of primer over all the white area and then 2 coats of finish throughout this, okay? I want it to be nice and smooth, so I don't want to just wipe it down with a sponge because I think it's going to get better if I sand it all the way. And I'm going to just lightly sand it, and I've got my paddle sander here. I got it from Home Depot. Okay, and I bought some sanding pads, and the thing on this, there's 25 in here. I didn't need 25, but to buy like 3, you could buy 2 packs of 3 or 2 packs of 5 for the same price or more than 25. So I've got plenty of sanding pads for later on, and I take that, loosen this up, and then it folds over like that. Okay, and I'm just going to use that. All right, let's do it.
I didn't know you were filming.
No, I wasn't filming, Mark, but he had some thoughts and ideas. He said, hey, should he bring a shop vac as I'm sanding and take a shop vac and kind of hold it there and try to suck it up? But I'm not quite sure because the shop vac is going to blow air out of the back side of it as well, and that might create more airflow and it might throw up and kick this dust up. And we were going to put some craft paper. This stuff here is I call craft paper, K-R-A-F-T, craft paper. We could put that down, but I didn't put that down when I did the sheetrock. And you know, if we put it down now after everything gets sanded, then you've got to fold that up and throw it away, and that is going to create a dust storm. So I think we're just going to leave it just like this as I sand, and everything's just going to drop down, and then we'll take the vacuum after that and wipe it down and stuff. And incidentally, once you do it, you just have to be careful, because the more you brush it and stuff, it's going to fly up. And then when you get all done, before you start painting, wipe this down with a damp rag or with a sponge to get all the excess. Because when you get ready to prime, you don't want to prime over a dusty wall, okay? Because then, does that make sense? If you put primer on there, it's not going to stick as well because you're going to have a dust layer on there, okay? Remember that. Since we're talking about sanding, what kind of grit sandpaper should you use? Now, you can get this in packs, and see this says 100. Well, they had 120, they had 180 grit. So I thought, middle of the road, I'll get the 100 grit. And like I say, when you sand on it, you just want to sand it not so hard and try not to sand too much of it. It's not, you don't get it smoother by more sanding, okay? I just want it so it's smooth to the touch, and I'm gonna wear my gloves here too. That way I can rub my hand along the wall and feel where it's smooth and where it's not smooth, and then just take this and brush a little bit more on there, okay? Just be careful when you're sanding. Do a good job. Okay, well see, only a few minutes Mark's been over here cleaning up And that cleaned up really nice. He's probably gonna have to wipe it down again. And I've encouraged him to wipe this down with a damp rag. Don't wipe too much because you don't want to put any impressions, depressions, impressions, whatever, on your new sheetrock mud, okay? You don't want to make any swirls or anything like that. Just gently wipe it down before you put your primer on. And I'm wondering, you want to really see this after Mark's got all this painted to see how well I did with the patching? I might do that for you too. Just keep watching the video and see. Well, here it is a few days later, and I'm sure you wanted to see this. Look how nice this looks now. Mark did a very good job. Excellent job, Mr. Markey. He's got all of this painted. See how nice this came out? He has some shelves here and stuff. And you can do this too. Just follow the different steps that I show on my channel and go where all the sheetrock videos are. And nice. This is nice and smooth. I like it. And later on, if he wants, he can put a tile backsplash on there. He thought he would just start off with this and see how this goes for a while. And worst case scenario, if that gets all marked up or if stuff starts splattering up there and somebody cleans it off and starts goobering up the paint, you know, you can put some new paint on there or put some tile, a backsplash on there, or even run it all the way up to the bottom of the cabinets. Well, there you go. One more job. We can mark that off our list.